flawless. What's up, nerds? My name is Pixiemage, and welcome to Minecraft. Listen, I know what you're thinking. Yes, this is a new series. No, it's not a new world. I know most Minecrafters are going to start off a new YouTube series with a brand new spawn so that you all can enjoy the same world from fresh with the person who's venturing through it. And I thought about it. I'll admit, I thought about it. But the thing is, I've been playing in this world for a couple months at this point, on and off, and I've fallen in love with it too much to leave it behind. Now, I could play here in my free time and then just have a whole new world for you guys to see, but I didn't want to do that. I already like the plans I have for this place, and I wanted to share them with you. So, yeah, it's not going to be a fresh world, but hey, it's still pretty close to the beginning of my adventure here, and I figured that was good enough. As you can see behind me, there is a building already kinda half made over on that hillside over there. There's a second hillside right behind me where I have my mining setup going on. And then over here, this is where I'm gonna be building all my farms. I was kind of thinking of calling this place Trinity Peaks, because, you know, there's three mountainsides all divided by a single split river, but honestly, it sounds too much like an upper middle class suburban neighborhood name. Like, I don't know, it feels weird to me. I think I need to come up with something better. If anybody has any ideas, go ahead and drop them in the comments, and I'll see if I can come up with something better to name this whole area. So while this world may not be completely new, I do have some great plans here, and it's still going to be a new-ish experience for me, and I'll tell you why. There are some things I've never done in Minecraft. One of which being defeating the Ender Dragon in survival mode. I mean, technically I've defeated the dragon twice in creative, but that doesn't count. I think we all agree that doesn't really count. I also have to fight a wither, which I've never done, at least in survival, once in creative years ago, and even then, I've never had enough wither skulls in survival to even make a wither in the first place. So I'm gonna have to figure out how to make a wither skeleton farm, which, again, is another thing I've never done. Redstone farms. Yeah, that hillside behind me, that's gonna be the farming district. The building that's up at the top that you're just seeing the edge of is going to be more of a aesthetic build, but over the hillside behind it, I want to see if out of sight I can start trying my hand at redstone farms, which, I mean, redstone is such a fascinating tool in the game, and I've never had the chance to really learn how to utilize it and create things that could be really, really cool. Like, I've played around with piston doors and stuff that were pre-made on YouTube, but that's not the same thing. I feel like if given the time and given an opportunity, I could really learn how to utilize it to my advantage. Because it's basically building computers in Minecraft. It's so cool. Anyway, so that whole district is going to be farms, both agricultural and redstone. It's going to be pretty fun. And while that area is going to follow the palette that you see up there, which is birch, sandstone, lighter colors, which, full disclosure, not a palette I'm very comfortable with. I tend to default back to the colors you see behind me. Spruce wood with dark oak accents, maybe some stone and andesite mixed, the occasional deep slate, now that's an added feature in the game, which I love what deep slate looks like. It's a fantastic color to add to the palette for building in Minecraft. I can't even get over how cool it looks, and it's a great complementary color to other stone builds. Fantastic. Anyway, but because I've never built in a lighter palette, I'm pushing the boundaries of what I'm comfortable with. I'm trying something new, which seems to be a reoccurring motto in this world. I'm going to be trying things that I've never done before in Minecraft, and building in new palettes is only one of them. So while I've squared away what I'm doing on these two islands, I mean, we got the farms there. This is going to be my main base structure, which, like I said, not really complete. The third over here, which I mentioned earlier, is my mining area, is going to be really cool as well. Now, the color palette I chose for this space is going to be a lot darker than what you're seeing in the other buildings. I've defaulted, or I will be defaulting, to deep slate, dark stone, dark oak with the occasional spruce to mix up the color a little bit. I want to see if I can make this look like, oh, what would you call it? I guess dwarven might be a good word. I'm not really sure. But it's going to look like that internally and externally. You can kind of see up here, there's a couple tiny cave entrances that I've lit up with torches. You can see it a little better when it's nighttime. They don't show up quite as well in the daytime, but when the lights go out and you can see those little glows popping out of the mountainside, you can see there's actually a decent handful of little entryways that I'm going to utilize, and though some of them are connected inside the mountain, some of them are not, and so I want to try to build an external, like, stairs and bridge system that wraps around the side of the mountain and connects them all together and makes it look like this is one interconnected mining system, basically. So this is my main mine entrance, which, you know what? Ow. Here, let's take a look. So I already showed you around the bare minimum of what's going to be here, as well as the, well, very, very temporary bridges that are going to interconnect these. These will be much nicer bridges when I'm done with them, but I want these to be potentially hanging rope bridges that look like they're being affected by gravity, that look like they actually have a weight to them in the middle. I've done rope bridges before in other servers in creative mode, and so I feel like if given the chance, I can really get a cool shape out of these, even though this one's going to be at a not quite 45-degree angle, which is going to be an interesting challenge in and of itself. I think I can really work with, because I've got such a long gap to cover, I can create some really natural looking curves in between all these spaces. And there will be a third bridge connecting this mountain to the farming mountain over there. Whether it's going to be an inclined bridge or not, I'm not quite sure yet. We'll see. But here, let's take a look down here real quick. Oop. Ow, there it is. I don't know how, but I want to make this entrance area look... Oh, there we go. Over the wall. I want to make this entrance area look a little more interesting. When I'm going to do that, I'm not sure yet, but that's on my list. And the staircase to my mine, which admittedly is kind of unimpressive right now, it's definitely going to be taller and more impressive when I'm finished carving it out, but I just needed access for the time being. But this is where my main mine is going to be, I guess, because this... I mean, if you can tell, this really isn't finished. It's literally a very symmetrical circle. It's satisfying to look at, but it's clearly, it's not a cave. It doesn't look like a cave. It doesn't feel like a cave. It just looks like somebody took a giant cookie cutter and spiked it into the middle of a mountain and got this room. Which, admittedly, while satisfying, it's not what I want. It's really not what I want to go with here. So the plan is to make this all look like a more naturally formed cave. We're going to cut out areas into the walls. The circular shape was just a base to build onto or off of. I don't... I think the second one's correct. But as you can see, there are already tunnels that I've started digging out on opposite walls here. This area is mostly going to be for iron and copper farming. Because iron, well, they've changed the generation of where ores appear in-game, like the Y levels and whatnot. So, unfortunately, where I would go for diamonds isn't going to be quite as beneficial if I want to get iron. I mean, yes, I will get iron from the diamond levels as well, but more frequently you're going to find iron a little higher up. So let me see the Y level. I think... yeah, 16. So this is going to be a pair of strip mines specifically for copper and iron. There's also a cave, a naturally spawned cave in here that starts to dip down into deep slate territory, which I keep thinking that I've lit up enough of this space, but because there are... I mean, this cave goes on for a while, and there are areas like back there where it's darker, and therefore you get more mobs spawning, hostile mobs specifically, which... yay! Now they did change the spawn patterns for mobs when it comes to darkness in the last update, I believe, which I am so appreciative of. Because don't get me wrong, in some areas I like that we can get mobs because the drops that they give are always going to be helpful. I mean, come on, I always need more string, and spiders seem to be the best way to get that. Only way to get that, unless you decide to hunt down some cobwebs, but really I'd rather leave cobwebs as they are for decorational purposes. I mean, I think most people can agree with me on that. But, they made it so you can still cause mobs to spawn, but if you want to have moodier lighting in a build, like you would in an underground cave system, or... hello? Oh, hi dude! How you doing? Flawless. But this area was here when I was digging out the ring upstairs, and when I stumbled upon it, I realized I could utilize this for building purposes. Now what I want to do, I think I used the word dwarven when I was describing some of my ideas for the upper mine systems. What I really want to do down here is make it look like this is the central hub of the mines. I mean, I want to make it look like there are people who are actually working and mining and collecting ores down here. I want to create a forge, and I want to create storage systems for different ores, like maybe create piles of iron, both raw and processed, and actual iron ore blocks, stone, and deep slate, and whatever I can find. I want to create these areas, maybe a sleeping area, maybe an area that's going to be full of tools and... Hello? Oh, let's... yeah, let's not bump that. I didn't realize that was up there. But make this look like a hub, a workspace, rather than just a cave. Like they carved this space out to utilize for their livelihood. Or my livelihood, I guess, because really it's my world. This all belongs to me. But I'm a lone pixie, not a dwarf. But hey, pixies can totally mine. I mean, especially when they've had their wings clipped, right? Then there is, I think some of you may have noticed, a giant hole in the middle of this upper mine area. Now, if we go down here, at the moment it's carved in this symmetrical stair-step fashion because I needed access to get down here. But eventually I will be carving all this out to make it look like a natural vertical drop all the way to this bottom section. At the bottom down here, this is diamond level. This is where I'm gonna mine for the good stuff. Not iron, I mean iron too, but mostly diamonds and redstone, baby. That is what I'm gonna find down here, which I already have. I mean, I'm not wearing it right now, but I do have some diamond armor and diamond tools. Not as much as I want to have, but you know, we're working our way up. There's going to be tall archways. There's going to be probably, much like the massive cave up there, there's going to be areas dedicated to mining, forging, etc., etc., etc. Like this is a living and working space, so maybe I'll have some minecarts running through the walls, making it look like they're going up to the surface. I'll probably have some decor in here, like a lift of some kind that quote-unquote moves up and down the vertical mine shaft, and then this whole area will probably end up... I don't know. I want to keep the darker palette. I just don't know if I want to keep this specific block as the main block. We'll see. The pillars, the support pillars are definitely not going to be this skinny. This was just me trying to get my head around what I want this area to look like. It's hopefully going to be cool. I have plans. We'll see where it goes. Up and out of the hole. Beautiful! Back to semi-fresh air. So let's head back up to the surface. I've got a couple more things to show you guys before we finish up this video. And of course it's nighttime when I leave the caves. This always seems to happen. Every time I come outside after I've been down underground, it's always nighttime. I don't know why. Whatever. Oh, although I don't think I'm wearing armor right now. That's probably important. Let's get back to the land and then I can put that on so that I'm actually protected out here. Whoops. Hang on. Boop, 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 boop. There we go. That's better. Alright, so you already kind of know my plans for the farmland over there on the other side of the river. My lighter palette and whatnot. Now, the one thing I didn't say, I don't think, if you take a look at this, now, this is clearly very, very early in the building process because there's not much to it yet, but that building up there is heavily inspired by the cottage from Beauty and the Beast that Belle and her father lived in. At the beginning of the movie, because I was looking for something small and a different color palette than what I was used to. Like I said, I don't build in light tones, birch and sandstone and all that. I really don't, but I wanted to try. So much like that building from the movie, this is all going to be that color palette, and the roof will have an accent color, potentially, I want to say like a red sandstone, red sand kind of palette, or maybe something more maroon. Maybe I'll see if I can get some crimson, the crimson wood from the nether. Maybe that color palette. We'll see. Because that would look very fantasy. It'd be really cool if that entire area, all the buildings were based in that palette. I thought about waiting until the next update to get mangrove trees so that all this can be that dark red wood, which would be gorgeous and would look... Honestly, I mean, I think it'd look beautiful for a barn. Like, if I really wanted to make a classic barn, a cartoon, out of a cartoon, you wouldn't recognize it anywhere. But I didn't want to wait until the update just to start building my farming district. So, Unfortunately, no redwood, but maybe I'll see if I can utilize it for a different build elsewhere. I mean, there is still this cliffside behind me. The wall with the nether portal is gonna be much bigger. There's gonna be a much bigger portal over there when I'm done with it. But the top doesn't, I don't have any big plans for it at the moment. I really don't. Like, I want something to be up there. I'm not sure what. So we'll see if I get some inspiration as we go. But on this side of the island, I mean, you do know this, I did say this was going to be my main base. And as you can see, and like I've said, it's not exactly finished. bit of a work in progress. But the thing that I decided, which potentially a foolish decision on my part, I the fool being, I chose to use anvils as part of a trim piece for this entire build. Which, I mean, they're one of the most expensive blocks in the game. Maybe not the most expensive, but you know, 31 iron ingots per anvil. Multiply that by, I think I need 137 to trim out all this building. I mean, if it's some quick mental math, it's a lot of iron. A lot of iron. Which is a little tricky when my mind is still in the very beginning stages. But the one thing that's going to help me out to get all these anvils, which I've been making them slowly, one by one, is the accidental... He was just here! Hello? The accidental iron farm that I made without really meaning to. These guys. So, I don't think I've mentioned this yet. There are villagers in my basement. There are many, many villagers in my basement. So this was completely unintentional on my part. Oh my goodness, it is so loud. I'm gonna have to turn down the game audio. Hi. Hi, dude. But I have many a cat that have spawned because of these villagers. I have cats because of the villagers. But they tend to couple up by the stairs. Oh, hello. Grimothy? What? Dude, Fritz, can you get your friends to back off, please? Y'all are just up in my business. Hang on. No, not you. There we go. There's only like 7 of them. But they keep crowding the stairs. Their beds are over here, under here. There's like a whole bunch of beds. They have all their workstations. I give them food. They have all they ever need. But you can see based on the blank stare from these guys. I have killed many, many iron golems. Oh yeah, and just a little factoid here. I do have the same data pack that the lovely people over on Hermitcraft have. That allows me to get more mob head drops from most mobs. Now, I don't think this works on hostile mobs. I think for zombies and skeletons, I have to actually still use the charged creeper thing to get them like you do in the game, normally. But it means that I have a bunch of heads on my wall. You can already see I have a phantom head behind me. There's a couple drowns. But it also means I have a collection of murderized iron golem heads hanging above my bed, like a really... I want to say it's a bit morbid, but I keep killing them, and then because I keep killing them, I have so many poppies. I have so many poppies because most of the time they drop a poppy. So I got lots of poppies, and I'm slowly gaining iron so that I can build more anvils. But one of these days, I will have to, when I move, because the plan is I'm going to move the villagers over there. They're going to be in the farming district, and some of them will be utilized to create an actual iron farm, which is going to be so cool. There we go. It's funny how your buddy didn't even notice you were dying over here. He's just like, yeah, whatever. Well, yeah, you're getting hurt over there? No, I don't care. I'm still my own thing. Dude, have a heart, man. Come on, your friend's being murdered. And you're just like, nah, it's fine. Don't worry about it. Probably gonna spawn another one in about 5 minutes anyway. This is gonna be my main base. And at the moment, like I said, partially unfinished, but I do have some plans for the interior. Now this area in the middle here will be 2-story, and then with the roof on top of that. This area is potentially gonna be open through both stories, like 2 full stories of open space, and then this area here is a tower that's gonna go higher than the rest of the building, if it looks good. I need to see if it'll look good. If not, I might just chop it down to the same level as everything else, but we'll see. I think you saw the area where there's gonna be a bridge between this and the tower next door. Hey guys. But this tower over here, I was planning on making this my enchanting room. But the thing is, I got a much better idea. I have such a cool idea. So instead, if you look over here, I do have a lake behind my... Hello? Are you still good in there, dude? Tomothy, right? Hey, Tomothy, how you doing, bud? Yeah, don't worry. I'll cure you soon. I just need more potions. Just need to get more potions, and then I'll be fine. Actually, let's check on your buddy, because I think there's another guy. Yep, another guy down here. What was your name? Jacques! Hey, Jacques! Yeah, don't worry about it. I'm getting to it. I'll be back to normal soon. Don't worry. Yes, there's gonna be a boathouse down here that leads out to... I already have, actually. Coolest thing in the world. I already have... I'm keeping an eye out for those effects. There we go. See, I already have a conduit built into this little underwater hillside, which is so cool. And I think it almost spans the entire lake. I think there's a couple points at the very edges of certain shorelines where it doesn't work, or it doesn't reach, but that's totally fine. But in this lake, this is where I'm going to be building up my enchanting room, and it's going to be in a really cool tower. I'm not going to talk too much about it because I have big plans for it, and I kind of want to wait until I actually build it to show you guys what it's going to turn out like. So that'll be really cool if I can get the right color palette going. Oh yeah, village. Very distant village. so far away. How will I ever get there? I think, you know, it's funny. When I got this world, I went through a couple trying to find one that had really cool, landscape structures so that I could build in a really cool looking area. But I wasn't looking for any, like, naturally generating, like, villages or temples or anything like that. But, so I think that the actual natural spawn was somewhere over in one of these areas in the savannah. But then I found this river that led to these... Hi, how you doing? River that led to these triple hillsides or the Tri-Peaks, Trinity Mountains, whatever the heck we're going to call it. And I saw it and I was like, oh, dude, I have ideas for this. So that's why I stuck around here, but I have found, where, do I have it in my... Yes, I do. So there's actually an ocean monument, an ocean temple, ocean whatever, what have you, sitting out, and it's I mean, it's not right next door, but it's only a couple hundred blocks away, I think, or at most maybe like 1,000 blocks, but it's in that direction. Like it's that way, and it's so cool because I don't have to travel super far to get there. Now, the Woodland Mansion, on the other hand, I got a map for that too. Oh, that was a trek. That was a journey and a half. One of those things that I've done before in Minecraft, but I wanted to do it again when I got here. So when I got my cartographer dude, I think I've had 2 cartographers so that I could get the Woodland Mansion map as well. But I ended up doing that earlier on. And the thing that I ended up utilizing, which I didn't even, like, think about beforehand, is I went to craft a boat because I knew I had to sail there at some point, and I accidentally used all the wood in my inventory to make an entire heap of boats, like a herd of boats, or the fleet is a fleet. I think it's a fleet. Yeah, fleet of boats. Anyway, so I made a ton of boats, and I was like, wait a minute. So when I went to the Woodland Mansion, I literally just went and I'd laid boats down in random places to catch anybody who came after me. And while it wasn't really necessary for most of the pillagers, because like I could have fought them off on my own and been fine, it just helped me save a couple health points so I didn't have to utilize as much food and stuff as I had in my pocket. But when I went up against the evoker, I was able to catch all the vexes that came out of the like the walls and stuff, because some of them come up through the floor, which, oh, it's getting dark out. Hello, moon. But I ended up, let's go back to bed real quick. But I ended up utilizing the boats to catch the vexes, which was great. And you would think, now bear with me. You would think, being a pixie myself, I wouldn't have much trouble fighting off a bunch of tiny winged people. Like, you would think so. But, yeah, I mean, but vexes are really hard to hurt, okay? They're really hard to kill because they're just tiny hitboxes, and they annoy the crap out of me. Now, if I go to another Woodland Mansion and try again, you can see how terrible I am at hitting them. Like, I can take on a normal-sized mob any day of the week, but you put something that small in front of me and I'm not gonna be... It's funny how the shortest person on the planet can't fight off the shortest people on the planet of Minecraft. Nope. So I think there's only 2 more things I'd like to look at before we leave, one of which is the nether.
Hey guys, what's up? Editing Pixie here. I'm just stopping in to say that past me ended up being a bit of a liar. See, while there were 2 more things I planned on showing you in this episode, I unfortunately ended up with so much more footage than anticipated that I've actually run out of time. So, while I did record segments that included the nether, like I said, as well as the ocean monument I mentioned earlier in the video, both of those will have to wait until the next episode. Sorry. Seeing as this is the first time I'm trying to make a gaming video for YouTube, I guess this ended up being a bit of a teaching moment, huh? Anyway, let's get back to recording Pixie so she can finish us off.
Alright, we're right back where we started today's video. Hi, how you doing? So it looks like we marked a couple things off the checklist today. Gave a quick tour of the world, talked about a couple of my plans for things I want to build. If any of you have any ideas for what to name this place, seeing as Trinity Peaks still sounds way too much like a suburb to me, I'd be more than happy to hear them. Drop something in the comments below and I'll see if y'all have any cool ideas that I can work with. If not, hey, well, I'll figure out a name eventually. I like the idea of something to do with the river, something to do with 3 mountains, something to do with... I don't know. We'll figure it out. But, anyhow, though today was completely unproductive and was really just an introductory video, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for taking a tour around the world with me. I hope you're having a fantastic week. And this is Pixiemage, signing off. See you next time.